Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome to my channel if you are new here, and please consider subscribing. I make vlogs, cleaning videos, mommy related topics, so if any of that sounds interesting to you and you enjoy this video, please consider subscribing to my channel. Today we are going to talk about tips for traveling with a toddler, and I in the past year have done a few cross-country plane trips with my toddler, and just recently I did a cross-country car trip with my toddler. So I have some experience in cars and planes, going very long distances, so I thought I would share some of the things that have been successful for my son. But keep in mind, every toddler is very different. Everyone likes different things, so maybe if one kid really loves toys, another kid really loves food, and it just really depends on what your child likes. So when I talk about things that have kept my child entertained or have really worked for him, that might not work for your child, but I at least wanted to share things that I have found to be successful, and then maybe you haven't thought of them or you haven't heard those tips yet, and you can try them out on your next trip. So, jumping right into it, my first tip, that is probably my favorite tip, is how to pack your child's clothes. So when you're going on a plane specifically, you're usually limited on space. I usually will pack a large suitcase and I'll do like half for me, half for my toddler. And it gets very messy, and by the end of the trip, everything's everywhere and you don't know how you can find a pair of toddler shorts in between all of your clothes. So the tip that I have used multiple times to try to keep everything organized, first of all, you can buy those storage cubes where you can just have a little bag that is just for your kids' clothes. But if you want to go an even cheaper route than that, I buy these gallon Ziploc bags, and I'll buy a pack of like 10 or 20. And I will use them for various things for the traveling. I will have one bag that is just for shirts. I'll have another full Ziploc bag that is just for like pants and shorts. And you can either label them, or you might just know looking at them, that's a pair of shorts, so I know this whole bag is shorts. And that has really helped me to keep things organized, and I will keep throwing all of his clothes in those Ziploc bags as the trip goes. If I take some out and they're still clean, I'll throw them back in there. It's just a really easy go-to place, and the Ziploc bags are a lot smaller and more compact than a storage cube. So because babies and toddlers are so small, their clothes, I mean, if you're only going for a few days, you really aren't going to take up that much space. So a Ziploc bag you could fill up even halfway with a few pairs of shorts and kind of compact it up and throw it in your suitcase. So that has been really awesome. I'll also do a full gallon bag full of like toiletries and things that we don't want to leak on things, as another way to like separate those type of items. So really the gallon Ziploc bags are like my go-to for organizing everything in the suitcase. Second tip is going to be what to do with dirty laundry, because between myself and my toddler, by the end of like a week-long trip, you have a lot of dirty laundry, and it gets very messy and stinky, and it's just a hot mess. So I have this handy little laundry bag that is pretty compact, especially with nothing in it. And I'll just throw this in my suitcase, and then when we get to wherever we're going, as the days go, I'll add all of our dirty laundry to this bag. And it's really not taking up any additional space because all the clothes were already in the suitcase. So then when you get home, not only does it keep everything else that's clean, but then you just have one bag of dirty laundry, and you can do your laundry right away when you get home, and it's super easy. So highly recommend using a laundry bag. I didn't for the first few trips, and with a baby it's a lot easier to have a place where you can throw all of those dirty items, and you know this stuff is dirty. Everything else that is in the suitcase is clean, and it's just very straightforward. The next tip might sound a little bit obvious, but I just want to call it out. When you are traveling, either on a plane, in a car, whatever you're doing, have a lot of snacks for your kid because they're used to eating what they eat at home. So whether that's a granola bar or a fruit leather or a pouch, they love those snacks. They're go-tos, and I'm sure every mom knows these are the snacks that my kid will eat regardless of the situation. They always love Cheez-Its, or they always love Goldfish, or whatever. Even if it's like blueberries, cut up strawberries, you could have those snacks packed, and then when you get on the plane, you know that you have those. But in addition to just having snacks, have more than you think you need. Like probably double what you think you need, because when they're traveling, a lot of things could go wrong, things can get delayed, but also they just might need a little bit of comfort. And I know that sounds like you're like bribing your kids with food, and it might be doing that a little bit, but if your kid is fussy in the car or on a plane, and a snack is going to keep them happy and entertained, and it's something that they're used to, it's from their home, then I think it's a great thing to have to just soothe them. And when no one's crying, everyone's happy. So that's kind of my go-to. I don't want to give him a ton of treats or super sugary things, but at the same time, I want to keep him soothed and happy and comforted, and that is in some situations a way that you can do that. So definitely have more snacks than you think you're gonna need. The next tip is a little gadget that I have found at, I think it was Bye Bye Baby where I saw it first, but I think they sell them on Amazon, probably Target, places like that, and I will link it below for you guys, specifically this one thing, because it's very, very helpful. And that is a little toy or pacifier tether. So you can clip a toy to one end, and then on the other end you can clip it to anything. Your diaper bag, to your son's binky on his shirt. You can clip it to a purse, you can clip it to your bracelet, you could clip it to something like on the airplane car seat, or like a handle on the airplane. You can use these in a lot of different ways, and in the car you can clip it to the car seat somewhere. So if your child loves playing with a certain toy or a certain pacifier, you can always have it with them. But the biggest thing on airplanes is you're terrified that they're going to throw it at someone or down the aisle and it's going to get lost. So I always have a couple of these in my diaper bag. And what I did on our last trip with my son is we had 2 different cars that we had tethered at all times, either to his car seat when we were driving, or like on the, like in the airplane, either to me or to him or something that was nearby. And he could play with his cars, he could even throw them, and they would just land next to us. And that one is a pretty short one, but they do make longer ones. So if you want to have them have like more flexibility and more playroom, then you could have them have a longer tether. You probably do like sippy cups too. I mean, there's a lot of uses for those, but that is like a lifesaver, especially when you have a child that loves to play with toys and loves to throw toys and is kind of rough. Then it's great because they can still feel like they're being rough and throwing toys and doing what they normally would do at home, and you're not scared that it's going to go flying and hit somebody or get lost. So that is a huge, huge thing that has helped me traveling in any situation, to just have on hand wherever he's sitting, even in a restaurant, like sitting in a high chair. That is very helpful. Next tip is for long car rides specifically, and it's one that I kind of learned the hard way this last trip, and that is when you're picking stops, because you know you're gonna have to go to the bathroom, you're gonna have to change diapers, all of that stuff. Pick a stop at least every few hours where your child can get out and actually walk around. A gas station is not a great place for that, right? I definitely do not feel comfortable having my toddler walk around anywhere near a gas station or in the gas station. That's just asking for trouble. I have learned that we either need to pick a rest stop that has like a big grassy area, or just straight up stop at a park or a playground or something like that, where he can literally just run it, even if it's for 5 minutes. It really makes a huge difference, because they are just so bored and so tired and so cooped up that yes, getting out and getting some fresh air and getting their diaper changed, that's great, but if you don't give them the opportunity to actually walk around and even run a little bit, then it just kind of builds up throughout the day. And the one day that we didn't let him do that at all, I didn't even really think about it, but we didn't let him just like walk on his own. I was just picking him up at every stop. Then at the end of the day, he was just a hot mess, and he was just so upset and so frustrated, and I really saw a difference in him. So that is just something that I've learned that might be helpful if you have a toddler and you're doing like a really long, like full day road trip. And then the last tip, this is probably more for people who are flying to locations, but it might just be useful for anybody. Don't forget that there are a lot of stores, specifically Target, where you can order things online and pick it up when you get there. So I would fly 5.5 hours to go see my mom in California, and you can't bring a lot of stuff on the plane. You can't bring a week's worth of diapers. I mean, you could, but I just didn't have the space for it. I didn't have the space for that many wipes, that much formula, whatever you're gonna need for that whole week or more. I just didn't have the space for it in my luggage. So I would just bring like a day and a half, 2 days worth of supplies. I would order it online at Target at the location, like by my mom's house. And then once we got there, we would just go pick it up real quick, and then we'd have everything we need. And we didn't have to lug that all through the airport and everything. So if you're doing something like that, or even if you're driving a long distance, you don't have room in your car and you want someone maybe to go pick it up for you at Target and have it ready for you when you get there, if you have a really nice relative. Just keep that in the back of your mind, because I think that's easy to forget, that even when you're in a completely different state or town, you can still use that Target or Kroger or grocery store pickup and order things before you even get there, and then show up to that location and have all the diapers and wipers just ready to go when you walk in the door. So that is something that I didn't really think of the first few trips, that is actually really helpful if that fits your situation. So those are my 6 tips for traveling with a baby or a toddler or young child. I hope they are helpful for you guys. And if you like this video, please give it a thumbs up, and like I said, consider subscribing. I am a fairly new channel to YouTube, but I am doing a lot of mommy content and vlogs and cleaning videos. So please consider joining our family, and thanks for watching this video. I will see you guys next time.